This is the plaintiff, Tamisha Hopkins. She says the defendant, a girl she went to high school with, refuses to return the full deposit she made on a car the sneak was selling. The defendant claims she spent it and doesn't have it anymore, but hey, that's not her problem. She just wants back what's rightfully due her and is suing for the $400 she's owed. This is the defendant, Britton Gagnon. She says the plaintiff loved the car she was selling, gave her a deposit, and then changed her mind. She also had the nerve to develop an attitude with her and demanded all of her money back. She was kind enough to return most of it, but refuses to budge on the rest. She's accused, not treating a high school pal right. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $400 for the return of the deposit she did refund.
All right, Tamisha Hopkins, you are suing your former high school friend. How do you pronounce your name?
Britton.
Britton Gagnon?
Yes.
For $400, $200 you say she owes you, and you just felt like doubling that to make it $400. A counterclaim you have against her for $400 that you did return to her, that you now decided you wanted back because she had the nerve to sue you for the remaining $200. What happened?
Well, I was car searching and I was looking on Craigslist within a range of $2,000. And Britton's car, she had posted a '95 Nissan Maxima she was selling it for $2,000. And I gave her a call and I asked her when would be a good time for I to go in.
Did you two know each other from before?
We didn't realize that we knew each other until I went to go look at the vehicle, but it wasn't ever a close friendship. It was just,
right.
you know,
You just recognized each other from high school?
Yes.
And high school was how long ago for you guys?
About 3 years ago.
Okay.
And we actually, you know, laughed and joked over the phone. We found out our kids were born on the exact same day.
Same day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And
this could have been the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Instead, now look at you. Okay.
I actually talked Britton down to $1,500 for the vehicle. So I went over to her house, test drove it, gave her a deposit of $600 to hold the vehicle.
Why? Because you were going to buy it?
Yes.
But then that changed.
That changed.
How long later did that change?
About 4 days later.
And why did it change?
Because a friend of mine was going to loan me the money, the rest of the money, the $900, and that fell through.
Okay.
So I called Britton and asked her for my deposit back, and she told me she already spent it and doesn't have it.
Now, did you know that there was somebody who supposedly was going to loan her the money or something?
No. She changed her mind about, I think it was like 5 days later, after we made an agreement that this was a final sale. You know, she was giving me the money to hold the car so I wouldn't sell it to anybody. I was selling it to her. You know, you give money to somebody.
Is there any paperwork on the $600 deposit? Can I see that?
Yes, I have the receipt for when I gave her back the $400, and I have a receipt.
I, Britton Gagnon, received $600 down payment from Tamisha Hopkins for the '95 Nissan Maxima. Will receive $900 more for full payment. Okay.
Yep.
Finally, she tells you, you know, that she's not going to go through with it.
Yeah, she tells me, you know, I'm not going to buy the car. So I let her know, because I didn't know my rights. I didn't know if I could actually keep the money, even though it was a final sale. So I said that I'd only give her back $400, keeping $200 for myself. And she came to my house in my face threatening me that she was going to call the cops if I didn't give her back her entire money within 10 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm trying to sell the car. So she's saying this in front of people looking at my car.
Okay.
And then this is the receipt for the $400 that I gave back to her.
Did you end up selling the car?
Yes.
And you sold it for?
I sold it to the people that were actually there because she was threatening to call the cops on me, so I had no choice to sell it. I sold it for $1,350, and I wanted to make $1,500. That's the lowest I was going was $1,500, and I had no choice but to sell it for $1,350 because she was in my face threatening to call the police on me if I didn't give her her money. And I used her money that she gave to me to buy myself a new car.
Right.
You know, because it was a final sale. She wasn't going to have the money back.
So now you ended up selling it for less because she backed out.
Yep.
And yet you gave her $400.
Yes.
Why?
I didn't know my rights at the time. I didn't know that I could actually keep the money since it was non-refundable and a final sale, which she signed this and it says she changed her mind on a final sale of the car.
Where does it say final sale?
On this one right here.
What is that? How many receipts do you guys have? Hand me. I don't want any more
I also have the receipt.
I can hand any receipt while Douglas is standing there, okay? I don't want him to lose any more weight. I want every receipt that you guys want to hand to Douglas. Hand him now.
This is the receipt for how much I actually sold the car to, and that's the woman that I sold it to.
So if it is not specifically stated that the deposit is non-refundable, does the plaintiff get her money back if the deal doesn't go through?
Oh, definitely. No car, no money.
What if it's the plaintiff's fault it doesn't go through? Does she still get her money back?
I think so, absolutely. Why wouldn't you want to give it back?
Well, she would want to get it back, but the reason the defendant wouldn't give it back, she wants to keep the money.
I think she should get her money back, but not having it in writing is an easy way to screw somebody over and not give it back.
I would so agree with that. I can't even tell you. Going inside the courtroom.
I am requesting
Yeah,
$400.
I meant to write returning. I don't.
Oh, you meant to write returning.
Yeah.
$400 refund of my 95 Maxima for Tamika Hopkins changed her mind on the final sale of the car, and Tamika signed it. All right, listen, why is it you think that you can enter into a verbal contract for $1,500 transfer and that you can just change your mind 5 days later?
Because we never discussed that any deposit would be withheld
What
or
did you
kept
think
back.
a deposit was? What's the point of
For
you
her
giving
to
the
hold
deposit?
the vehicle, and she told me
Right,
she
so for
wasn't
her not
in
to
any
sell it to
rush.
somebody else. And then if you change your mind, then tough on her? Because according to you, it wasn't specified to you in writing that it would be non-refundable?
No, I just thought that you were able to do that. I didn't.
Here's how it works, guys. A judge has to sit there when you folks, and you guys are pretty better than the average bear in trying to write stuff down. I have to give you credit for that. Okay, for a couple of young individuals, you showed more savvy than a lot of the people who've been in business for 20-something years, because every time any money went back and forth, someone grabbed an envelope, okay, a grocery receipt, a piece of whatever. I love it. I love it, because I spend my life saying, one day somebody's going to give me a piece of toilet paper with crayon on it, because I've been spending 10 years saying, grab the nearest piece of toilet paper and the nearest crayon. So one day I know I'm going to see that. All right, so that's good, okay? Now, the one thing that's not written there is I am accepting for $600, and it is a non-refundable deposit. That's not written on there. Okay, all right. You say, well, Judge, if it's not on there, then it's refundable. You say, well, no, Judge, if it doesn't say refundable, then it's non-refundable. Well, let me tell you how I see it. It's my job, when you don't specify it, to try to figure out the intent of the parties. And it's going to be very, very difficult to persuade me that a deposit that is handed over in order to buy a car, that I say, I'm buying your car, here's the deposit, don't sell it to anybody, that our intent was that it be refundable. Our intent is that she not sell it to anybody else. That's the intent. And then she ends up having to sell the car for less than what she bargained with you to sell it for. Okay? And so at the end of the day, she's actually entitled to keep the entire $600. She's certainly entitled to not, because you changed your mind, to have to eat less for the car. But what does she do? She turns around, she gives you $400, and instead of saying, whoa, thank gosh, I got my $400 back, you turn around and you sue her for the remaining $200? Are you kidding me? Did you talk to any lawyers before you did this?
Yes, I did, and they actually told me to file small claims,
yes,
which I
file
did.
small claims and see how it goes. It's not going too well, okay?
So,
I mean, you're not entitled to that. Now, you have a counterclaim against her for the $400, because you have since educated yourself and said, well, wait a minute, I shouldn't have given the $400 back. But I'm not going to, you gave those $400 voluntarily, and I'm not going to now turn around and tell her, hey, you owe that back. That's something that you ended up doing. I wouldn't have done it. You didn't need to do it, but once you did it, I'm not going to undo it. There's no legal premise for undoing it. So you decided at one point in your life that what was a fair amount for you to keep was $200, and you kept the $200. I am not going to order you to turn over $200, much less double that. There you have it. So my verdict in this case is for the defendant, okay? On your claim against her, on your counterclaim 0, for the reasons we've discussed. Good luck, ladies.
There's the plaintiff coming out of the courtroom right here. Sorry you lost your case. What's your reaction to this outcome?
Well, I just hope whoever she sold the vehicle to doesn't, pass out from gasoline smells. A close friend of ours said that, it was fuming with gasoline. So that's about it. She won, but, all's fair.
Don't you guys have something in common? You bonded at the beginning over your kids were born on the same day and stuff, and you went to the same high school and all that stuff? What happened to that bond?
Not much loss, should I say.
Okay. All right. You just head right down there. All right. So come on in here. You win your case against her. How do you feel coming out of this?
Oh, I feel awesome, but you know what? It's definitely a lesson learned, I'll never do that again.
What specifically are you talking about?
Trust someone, that I didn't really know. When you're going to sell a car, I'm not going to take any more deposits. I'm going to sell it as is right then and there. If you don't have the money, then you know what? Too bad for you.
See what Harvey says about that.
Well, it's a good policy, but there's something more important, which is if you want a deposit to be non-refundable, you have to specifically say it, and you should say it in writing. Otherwise, there ain't no such thing as non-refundable.